Hello, everybody. We are back again. This is Matt and
And
Jordan. We are
Jordan,
back, and Jordan. And
aha.
we have a very exciting, another special guest. We had John a few weeks ago, probably a few months ago at this point. Now we have Joe. Say hello, Joe. Joe's a friend of the podcast. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. Jordan,
Joe,
Matt, thank you so much for having me on.
we are really excited to have Joe on. Joe is a film connoisseur. He worked really closely with Martin Scorsese. No, I'm just kidding, but he is a big film
Yes,
connoisseur. So, and I
yes.
will.
I'm
It's
his
an
protege.
They just call
It's
him
a
Marty.
I just
Yeah,
stole my joke. Damn it. Uh,
yeah.
we're doing our own version of Cine e alcohol here. Okay, so I like to do this when we have a guest on, even though this is only the second time. I think I'm going to do it every time. I'm going to let our guest, in this case, Joe, tell everybody what we are talking about this week. What are we talking about, Joe?
Well, this week we are talking about Martin Scorsese's masterpiece, Goodfellas.
That is right. The 1990 classic, as we all call him on here, Marty, because Bethany's serious, right? Absolute cinema, as Martin Scorsese would say. Yes, 1990. It is an adaptation of the book called Wise Guy by, I don't want to butcher this, Nicholas Pileggi, right? Starring Robert De
Pileggi.
Niro. Pileggi? Damn it, I butchered it. All right, Pileggi.
Boo,
I should know. I'm like
boo.
three-quarters Italian. Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, rest in peace. The head of the Wet Bandits is also in this movie. Joe Pesci. Well,
The sticky
actually
bandits.
he is the head of the Wet Bandits.
The
Daniel
sticky
Stern was
bandits now.
Sticky Bandits. Lorraine Bracco, Paul Sorvino. I was gonna say Mira Sorvino's father, but that was a bad joke. And a young. I don't think a lot of people realize, unless you're. I feel like nobody talks about the fact that Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie, but whatever, that's irrelevant. All right, I have a trivia question, and I usually make these for Jordan, but I'm going to give it to Joe, and I have a really bad feeling that Joe's going to get this in about 10 seconds. Joe, trivia question. Do
Yes.
you know who the person was that plays Joe Pesci's mother in this movie?
Everyone knows this.
Do,
Oh, of
do
course.
they? Let's
This,
see.
this is Martin Scorsese's mother.
It is Miss Mama
I'm sorry,
Scorsese.
Marty. Marty
Marty
This
Scorsese.
Scorsese's
this
mother.
is like
I don't
when
think
people
everybody knows that.
watch Lord of the Rings and they're like,
Huh?
"Oh, did you know that Viggo Mortensen broke his foot when he kicked that helmet?" Like everyone knows this. It's everyone wants to
Listen.
bring up that trivia, but everybody knows.
All right. Well, you know what? Then that's it. No more trivia questions. Okay. So I'm going to do my usual kind of introduction here. Does anybody want to start? I'll roll to Joe first and then to Jordan after him. Joe, do you remember when you saw this movie for the first time? Where you were when you saw it?
Oh, where I was when I saw it. Wow. I got to say, I've seen this film too many times to count at this point. And I honestly, 1990. I
Yeah.
don't know if I saw it in 1990. I mean, I was probably like like 12 when I first saw it. But yeah, I honestly do not remember.
What about you, Jordan? Do you have any memories? I remember vividly, but I'll let you go first. Do you have any
It,
memories
it
of
was
when you saw this movie?
it was a rainy night. It's about 52
Hit
degrees.
a
No,
cool
once
52
again,
degrees.
I have to. The podcast says middle age in it. I don't remember what I had for breakfast 2 days ago. I do not remember when I saw this movie.
There are some movies that I don't remember. I don't know why. I have a photographic memory of certain things. And I guess this is apparently one of them since I'm the only one that remembers every week. But I do remember where I saw this movie. Long story, I used to be in a band, long story short here. And we were in the studio.
The
or
Lone Rangers.
We were in the studio for about 3 days straight. That was all we were doing, like 12, 13 hours a day. So we were just basically living there for 3 days. You'd have breakfast there, eat lunch. Anyway, we had a break in recording at one point where you can't record for 13 hours straight. But somebody said, "Oh, I want to put Goodfellas on." I think I was 19 years old. And I do remember when I saw it for the first time, I was really turned off by the violence in this movie. So science fiction violence doesn't bother me, right? Cartoonish violence doesn't bother me. This was almost too realistic. It was too brutal. I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is brutal. But yeah, now that I've seen it 100 times, and I know this is not a comedy, but I've quoted this movie probably 75 times a year for the past 20 years. I just kind of watch it as a comedy, which I
I
don't know
mean,
if
now
that says
you
a lot
think
about
it's
me.
not violent enough.
No, well,
You're
yeah,
like,
compared.
wait a minute, I didn't get to see all the wax at the end. This is messed up. What the
I
hell?
I have a. Do you guys feel the same way? I should ask the question. It wasn't on my list, but do you guys still watch this as a genuine drama? Like you're just like, or do you kind of just laugh because you've quoted this 1,000 times?
I mean, I don't
I
laugh at it. I mean, I watch it. I'm
Okay,
entertained by it. There's no like laughing. I mean,
so
I
then
don't know,
I'm a
for
sick
me anyway.
individual.
You might be.
What about you,
no,
Joe?
I am yes. As every time, I believe you said you watch this as a comedy now.
Now I do.
Um,
It's sick. Yes, but yes, I do.
I think it's an incredibly effective drama, but at the same time, I'm howling through the entire thing. I mean,
There, I mean,
it's hysterically funny.
there are certain moments
It is not a
for
comedy.
me.
I'm not
In
suggesting
fact,
that it is, and that's
there's
not a knock
one,
on the movie.
there's a couple I'm going to bring up that
Please,
I
please do.
found funny. I'm not going to do it yet, but I mean, there are scenes in it that are funny,
Yeah. Well, some of them
but
are supposed to be, yes, but
not. I think sometimes there's, I don't know. Sometimes I think there were subtle scenes. I don't know if they were supposed to be funny, but maybe they were. I don't know. Maybe I'm
I don't
just
know if
not a
you're supposed
good.
to laugh when Joe Pesci asks Samuel L. Jackson, or he says to him, "I thought you had some of your bitches in here."
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
late for your own
yeah.
funeral.
I did. Where the
Yeah,
fuck is she?
yeah, yeah. I don't. I just maybe I have a sick sense of humor. I tell you that I just
No, you're
quote this
disturbed.
movie all the time. I am disturbed, apparently, but I'm like Joe Pesci in this movie. Uh,
Funny
I think.
how? Funny like a clown?
I
Yeah.
think. I think there's something kind of jumping on or jumping back to what I was saying about the way, at least my reaction to it initially, right? I think there's something here where, as sort of a first time viewer, I don't know again if you guys think this way or even remember, but you're from that very opening scene, right? You're hit with this violence right in the beginning, right? They stab Billy Bats in the trunk, right? They shoot him, right, in the trunk.
Oh,
And
brutal.
it's shocking, right? Obviously it's intended to be, I think it is, right? But as the movie goes on, I feel like you're almost like a character, right? At least for me, right? I feel like the movie's purposely meant to be this way of it's shocking at first, and then as it goes on, you just become numb to it. I don't know if you guys share that thought, or maybe I'm on the
Yeah,
wrong
you get
page.
desensitized to it at some point, and I think that's the point
I
because
do
you're
think that's
seeing
the
the
point.
whole movie through Henry Hill's eyes. So at first, when you see them stabbing Billy Bats in the beginning of the movie, he's kind of like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And towards the end, you know,
It's nothing. It's just this
it's
thing they
just it's
do,
like,
right? Like, hey, I
yeah.
go to work
I
and
mean, he
I
was never killing. I mean, you don't see him actually killing anybody in the
Henry.
movie. Henry, if I could recall, I mean, he beat the shit out of
I
that
think
guy,
you're right,
but
Joe. What
that
do
guy
you?
deserved it. But
No, no, yeah. I think that was actually because this this film. Oh yeah, it's based on Wise Guy, but it's Henry Hill's kind of story, right? And
yes,
I
Yes,
think that was like one of the criticisms of it is like, oh, okay, how convenient that Henry Hill never kills anybody in this movie, right?
he was
Because it's being told from his point of view.
the reluctant gangster.
I.
Yes.
That's such a. And I'm being sincere here. That's such a simple observation that you just made, but it's blowing my mind because of the countless times I've seen this movie, I've never had that thought enter my brain. I'd never just thought about it. I never thought about the fact that I'm literally trying to rack my brain right now. Yeah, he doesn't kill anybody in this movie, right? You don't see him kill
No,
anybody.
no.
Mm-mm.
That's wild to me. I genuinely, this is not fake. That's wild. I never thought about that.
Yes. There's plenty of violence. There's plenty of murder.
That's
There's
so
plenty of
crazy.
killing, but
Yeah, no,
none of it
that's
at the hands of Henry Hill.
So I watched this with my teenage son, he's 14, whatever, recently for the first time. And he said something that I think is interesting, I think, and I want to talk to you guys about, but I think it kind of applies here. He made this comment, and I think it says a lot about this movie, but it's also a great observation. He said that, I'm paraphrasing, right? But he said, every time I see a mob movie, because I showed him some other ones, right? He said, in the beginning, I think this looks cool and I want to be these guys, right? And then by the end, he said, and they said, by the end, he said, I don't want to be anything like these guys. Because they showed him Bronx Tale too in this one. And I think that's a very accurate observation, right? Because I think about this movie, and a lot of movies, but this one specifically is that, and this is clearly on purpose, but maybe your thoughts are different, right? I think it is. But it starts off purposely showing, hey, look how glamorous this is, right? Look at this life. It's so great. But by the end, it's look at how horrible this is. And no sane person would want to be one of these people. I don't know. Joe, what do you think about that? Am I way off base or whatever? And what are your thoughts?
No, no, no. I think that's actually, with a lot of Scorsese's, especially his gangster films. I think that's, the way it always ends. By the time you get to the end of the film, you realize this being in this life does not lead to anything good. It's
Right.
just,
Right.
yeah,
And I
I
thought that
think he
was
does a really good job I mean, these people, save for one person, again, I'll bring up later, they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Every single person in this movie is a piece of shit, except for one, and I'll
Some are
mention that
much
later on.
more bigger pieces
Some
of
are
shit
worse
than
than others.
others, but
But
yes,
like
or psychotic, if you will.
generally you try to watch a movie, try to find the person that you're gonna latch on to, who the protagonist is, who's gonna
Yes.
be your eyes and whatnot.
Yes.
And yeah, you're right. You watch the movie, everybody knows his name, everyone's really cool. He's like, look at me, look what's going on. But yes, as the movie continues on, you see the violence, the paranoia, the just complete disregard for for human life, and you're like,
Yeah.
maybe not, maybe not so cool.
Unless you're somebody,
Unless
somebody
you laugh
somewhere
while
is like
watching
still there.
Goodfellas, then maybe it's good.
Unless you watch Matt is like, I'm still in.
This
I'm
is
still
good.
on board.
This
I'm
is
still
good.
on board. I thought that was a pretty, I mean, not to hype my son up, but I thought that was a pretty astute observation for a 14-year-old, right? I mean, maybe he didn't see it as, the point when they were doing the movie, but the fact that he saw that I thought was interesting. But I think the entire like arc of the movie is brilliant, right? Because again, it shows you not only the glamorous, it shows you why he wants to be in the mob, right? And it also Karen kind of learns the same things that he does, right? At the same
Come on,
time.
Karen. She spent the
Karen.
she spent the
Because
entire movie being gaslit. Loved every second.
he is so in the beginning, right? I mean, well, the very beginning scene, but then I mean, basically the scene for all intents and purposes starts with him as a kid, right? I mean, there's that very, very short intro scene, right? But it really starts out with him being a kid and you're learning through his eyes why this life is to him is so cool. But then you almost get to do that over, right? When she's introduced to him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I
And she
thought that
really
was
liked the idea when she was like, yeah, when he made me hide the gun, it turned me on.
yes, yeah, yeah. I want to talk about Karen. Yeah, I don't think
Karen, Karen.
Lorraine
We listened
Bracco.
we listened to her scream for like, I think if you all her wailing is almost 20 minutes of the movie.
just just her.
Her
They
wailing.
weren't gonna find it, Henry.
It's funny to me. You were naming the people who are in this movie, and I wanted to be like, oh, who's in this movie? It's Ray Liotta, Joe
Yeah,
Pesci,
yeah,
Robert De Niro, the
yeah.
entire cast of The Sopranos,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
Paulie Walnuts.
David Chase basically said, who do I want in this? Give me the cast of the
I mean,
Goodfellas.
I think that was basically any
Oh,
director or
I
writer
can't I can't
after
get Robert De Niro.
1990.
Get me
Yeah,
James Gandolfini
yeah.
instead.
Quick story for Joe. You might find this interesting, and anybody else out there might not, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
You could tell him
Jordan,
it's not interesting after.
Jordan and I used to work at the same company about 15 years ago, and I won't say her last name. We used to work with somebody named Karen who was our age. He knows he's laughing. We didn't talk about this in advance. He's laughing because he knows what I'm going to bring up. Anyway, we used to work with somebody. Her name was Karen, and Jordan. I'll say he made jokes with her, but I think he tortured her. He always, every time she would come over, hey Jordan, I need you to get XYZ done by Friday, and he would say, how could you do that, Karen?
Oh
That's all
yeah.
we had, Karen.
And I think I don't.
We would do
Correct me
it
if I'm
too.
wrong, Jordan. Did she
We would do it
not
as well.
remember? Did she not know what it was? Did she get the
Not at
joke?
first.
I think she got it
We had to
because
explain
you
the joke.
told her. Yeah, but we
Yes,
were
we had to explain
relentless.
it.
Yeah. Hey, can you want to go to lunch today? Well, how could you do that, Karen? Over and over. I think, to her
Li-
defense, she was a trooper. But yeah, if she's out there
Literally,
listening,
I've worked with a couple of Karens and like a couple,
not those kind of,
Karens in
not
my
that
life.
Karen,
Which type of Karen? The
No, not
Karen with the
that
short
Karen.
not that
haircut?
Karen.
Okay.
Any Karen that I ever meet, I'm Karen, Karen. Like I talk to them like that. They don't know what I'm doing.
They were gonna
But they
find
just have to
it.
do it.
They were
That,
gonna
Yeah.
find it.
that could be your test, though, Joe. If they know what you're doing and they think it's hilarious and they're on board, it's like I want to be your friend. If they don't know what it is or they find it annoying, it's like, oh God, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't.
It hasn't happened yet. Not one has been like, oh, Goodfellas. I know what you're doing. No,
Oh
it
really?
hasn't
No
happened
one,
yet.
no one
No,
knew.
no, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh God,
One
these days,
day.
Shame.
yeah, these days they probably think you're just accusing them of being a horrible person.
Yes, exactly. Karen has a new meaning now.
And then it's not even remotely funny. It's like, no, I didn't mean you were a horrible person. I mean, there was a 1990 who Martin Scorsese, good what? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
no, I'm
then
not
it's just,
saying you would call the police on black people barbecuing. I'm just saying that
oh my God,
you flushed the drugs
we're
down
done.
the toilet.
We're canceled. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. We're just saying you're a character from our favorite movie.
yeah. I don't think Goodfellas is a favorite among the women. It's not. It's not a. It's
you
not
think
really a woman's movie.
that's a good
I mean, the women
I
in
don't
here
know.
have they are uh, they're they're pretty much just there, right?
I would say
They're
Karen is the
there,
only character in the movie who has anything even resembling
but she is
uh
so like I
she
never
has an out. She
imagined
has an out. I mean, she pulls a gun
it's
on him. She's gonna kill him. So she's not
but
a
here's the
complete
best part of that
Oh,
scene. She pulls the gun on him, and she has every right. You can make the argument to be that pissed off. And
of
at the
course she
end,
does.
she's the one crying and apologizing.
I'm so
What are you sorry for? Huh?
sorry.
What are you sorry for?
I gotta
He's been
worry about
cheating on
this.
you?
I gotta worry about
yeah.
this.
She really does love him. I mean, no matter what he did, she
A
really
hun-
does love him
uh,
through the whole film.
I think, yeah, I think there's a mutual attraction, obviously, in the beginning. I think it's sincere in the beginning, and I think I mean, she says it right. I mean, it's very simplified. Jordan brought it up before. I mean, she says, right, I should have ran, whatever the way she phrased it, right. My other girlfriends would have ran the minute their boyfriend handed them a gun, but I got to admit it turned me on, right. So she obviously liked that, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is the other characters not so much, right. But she's the only character I think in the movie who
The only
has
female character that has anything other than just existing.
she's not a passenger. Yes, she had a chance. I mean, right or wrong is a different conversation, right? But she had a chance to take matters into her own hands, and she kind of did, and she just chose to go a different way.
I
So, I
mean,
mean, she
to quote Rick James, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
was
Yeah,
she on
So,
cocaine at that point by the time she pulled the gun on him? Joe,
well,
do you
no, I
remember?
just meant like eventually she gets
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
into
yeah.
it.
okay,
So,
okay.
I don't think at that point.
I want to
But
ask.
that
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, no. I was just gonna say that scene. Because I mean, the scene we follow Henry as he walks up to the neighbor, and
Right.
then he proceeds to just pistol whip the guy, right, with the butt of the
Oh my
gun.
God.
Just, I
Yes.
mean, it's
and he deserved
so
it too.
brutal. That scene is so brutal, and
I
just
was,
and I mean, he walks back up the car. I mean, she watches as he's doing this. I mean, obviously, we're getting much more of a
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guy
reality of what's
deserved it.
happening, but still, she sees it, and she's still like,
I swear to
turns me
God on my
on.
mother, you
The guy
touch her
deserved
again and
it.
you're dead.
The guy deserved it.
Here, I'm gonna ask you.
That's one of the few bits of violence I was like, yeah, no, hit him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to
What's up,
touch
fucko?
me.
You want some?
I
Yeah.
told him no. He
And he
pushed me out
pushed
of
me
the
out of the
car.
oh, and I
I'm
called
sorry.
you.
No, she doesn't say I'm sorry there.
It
All
got
right.
really ugly.
All right. I'm gonna throw this question to Joe. I mean, Jordan, you can answer. There's too many J's on this. Joe first. What do you think? I thought this was interesting. I mean, again, it's different when you're trying to make a podcast versus just watching it, right? But what do you think, Joe, of the voiceover tool as a storytelling tool? I like it. I'm curious what you think. I think it just works in general, but I feel like it provides a way of explaining a lot, right? Exposition, if you will, without making the movie 6 hours, right? Because I think without that, this movie would have been very different. What do you think about, are you a fan of the voiceover? I'm assuming yes, because we all love this movie, but have you ever thought about it as far as like exposition goes or whatever?
Yes, I am a fan of it with and Scorsese does this with like most of his films.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Wolf of Wall
and
Street, right? Yeah.
yeah, Wolf of Wall Street, The Irishman, you know, and I guess it's like there's a criticism of it because it's like it's an easy way to do exposition as opposed to just kind of having the movie tell the story on its own. And yet I just love it. I mean, I love every moment of it.
Yeah, I think it works. I think it works perfectly. I think this. Uh, I feel like there are times where the exposition, not in this movie, just in general, in TV or movies, can be very clunky. It's like, all right, you clearly are just trying to, move
I
the
did have
story
one
forward.
critique
Go ahead,
on
please.
it. Um, maybe two. So I think it would have worked better because it works great. I'll say it that. I had no problem with it up until the very, 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 very end. At no point in the movie does he break the fourth wall and talk directly to the camera
Except at the end.
until
Yes, yes, yes,
Oh,
the
yes.
end. And then you're wondering, like, I thought it'd be cool. Obviously, I'm not on Marty's level, but I thought it'd be cool if, like, if they're talking, maybe it shows where, like, it cuts to them in the interview room or something, spilling to the FBI, and that's why you're hearing the exposition throughout because it's them telling the story in order to
Okay.
get immunity,
Okay.
rather than all of a sudden it's like we're hearing this exposition. Who are they talking to? It's going from Henry to Karen, to Henry to Karen, whatever. Then he breaks the fourth wall out of nowhere. The fourth wall's broken for the rest of the movie, and
I,
then
I was trying to
and it just
think.
came out of nowhere. Because
This
if
is
you've
not a
never seen it
trick.
before, you could like it was
Uh,
very much like almost you almost waited for I was almost waiting for like the courtrooms, like the whole set to move out of the way,
I genuinely
kind of thing.
they just wheel them off. I want to add that to my notes, but I guess I'm not intelligent enough to figure out if there is something there. Can you guys think of a reason? I was genuinely trying to think of, is there a reason why they chose to have him break the fourth wall at the end? This is not a trick. I don't know the answer. I tried to think of it and I couldn't think of a reason. I'm sure there is, but I can't think of what it
They
is.
couldn't figure out how to end the movie, so
I don't know. What does Joe
they
think? I don't
decided to
know.
broke break the fourth
Yeah,
wall.
it's really a great question. I honestly don't know, and it's probably just one of those things that because we've seen it so many times and we're just so used to the movie, it's like we don't criticize it anymore. It's like,
Here you go.
yeah, it's a
Wait.
really good question.
I wonder, and this, I could be completely off base, right? I'm just pulling this out of my ass right now, but I wonder if I might be right. I wonder if it's, hey, the illusion has been shattered, right? It's broken now, right? Maybe, I don't know, right? Like the
You may
illusion
be
of
right.
glamour is gone, the
You may be
lifestyle.
crazy. Just might be a lunatic looking for.
It just might be the man I'm looking for. But I do think, and Joe, you just brought it up. I do love the fact. I love the narration in general. Actually, quick aside. I was reading somewhere recently that, um, I believe it's true, but you never know. The internet can be many things. But they were saying that originally Ray Liotta had trouble doing the voiceover, right? He just felt awkward, like he was just reading lines in a dialogue. So he asked some of the people, the producers, right, some of the production people to sit across from him, right? He sat down, like basically sit across at a chair from me, so he felt more like he was telling a story to someone.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, because it definitely feels like he is talking to someone.
Right.
right,
And that's what
right.
yeah, you watch it and you think at some point you're going to cut and you're going to see him talking to someone, but instead it never happens.
I
I
mean,
mean, it's not a knock,
no, 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 not at all. I mean,
but
this movie is amazing. There's nothing I don't really have any complaints about this movie, honestly. But I do think going back to what Joe said before about the he brought up Karen, right? Karen's narration. I think the narration in general, the voiceover in general, is great, but I love how they switch between him and her because, like I said, in the beginning, you get to see it from his point of view, but then we get to see you're basically starting over, right? The first, hey, he's a kid, he doesn't want to go to school. His dad's like, why are you failing out, right? Don't deliver mail to this kid's house. You have that whole build up, you're learning it.
Yeah.
And then you get to see it. Then she basically, when it kicks over to her, right? You get to learn again in real time with her, right? Like, oh, I couldn't stand him, right? We were supposed to be ordering dessert and he couldn't wait to get me out of the car, right? You're learning the world again. You almost get to see it from two sides. I don't know if I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I think Karen gives you an introduction of what an outsider sees at that point.
Okay, that's a good call. Yeah.
But because up until that point, all you saw was Henry,
Yes.
and his point of view. So it gives you a glimpse of someone else's point of view because when she's talking, especially when they're first meeting and on their
Yeah.
first date, I mean, he's a piece of shit, right? He's like totally ignoring her. He's literally
I gotta go.
pushes her.
I got that thing. I gotta
He
go meet
literally
Tootie.
pushes her into the
He,
house. And it
he,
almost makes me wonder, is that the way she remembers it? Because she's
oh,
telling that side? Or is that his recollection of it? Because
that's a
when
good.
he's talking, he's always like, he's not that bad of a guy, right? He's a
I almost feel
gangster.
like
This is
that.
my girlfriend's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I got a
Yeah.
girlfriend. You know how the life is. What are you gonna do
Well,
about it? Come on.
what did I say? Friday.
It's
we-
it's Debbie
the
Mazar. It's Friday is for the is for
Fridays
the
for the wives, weekends, Saturdays for the girlfriends, right? Or
yeah,
am I flipping it?
or the other
I
way
don't know.
around. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? What are your thoughts on that?
No, yeah, I agree, and I do love to. I mean, I think probably like the first couple times seeing it, when it does switch to Karen's narration, it might be like a little jarring. You're kind of like,
Yes.
oh, okay. But I think it's another one of those things that once you've seen it so many times, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's Karen's narration now. This is what happened. I just want to say I do love too that yeah, there is like they go out to dinner that couple of times and he's just ignoring her, and it takes her showing up and
Oh,
he's standing on the street with his friends, and
you got
she
a lot of
shows
nerve
up.
standing me up.
Yeah, yeah, and
Who do you
she's
think
just
you
like
are?
losing it on him,
Frankie
and that's
Valley?
when he's like, damn, I like
Yes,
this. I like this. This fiery, he's fiery. This one, feisty.
that is a good
That's
I
what
call.
can't.
turns him on.
I can't say. I mean, maybe I can say that was good. No, I'm not gonna say it.
Text
I
me
can't
later and tell
say
me
it.
what you're gonna say.
I
Yeah, don't
can't
say it.
say
No,
it.
just don't say it.
I mean,
Uh,
the
don't say it. You
you
had
know.
if that was your gut, just go with your gut. Um, yeah, no, I think that's a good observation, Joe. I think that right. If she would have been because here's another good point, counterpoint, Joe. Right, the other girls that you see them with a lot of time, right? Like when they're out. I don't know. There's 10 scenes in restaurants and diners, but there's one scene where another scene. I mean, I love the whole movie, right? When they're out and Joe Pesci's has his girlfriend and she makes the whole Sammy Davis Jr. reference, right? And she's like,
Oh
"Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
could see, he's very talented.
yeah.
You
You
could
see
see
how?
why a girl
Yeah,
would like him." But then, so here's the counterpoint. The counterpoint is this, right? When Joe Pesci obviously gets clearly annoyed because he's a psychopath, right? She quickly backs down. She's like, "Oh, I just, I mean, he's talented, right?" But Karen would not be like that, right? Karen would be like, right? She pulls up to him and says, "You got a lot of nerve. You stood me up. You got to make it up to me, right?" I think he likes her because I mean, I'm sure he likes her for
She's
lots of reasons,
feisty.
right? But she looks like a young Elizabeth Taylor. But no, but right, he likes
yeah,
her because she's not like the other girls are just kind of like, hey, I know my place. I'm not saying I think that, right? In the movie, right? Hey, I know my place. I'm here with whatever, right? I'm being very quiet because he wants to make sure he's not kissing Nat King Cole over here. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Let's
That's
be careful here, all right? Let's be
yeah,
careful.
yeah. I understand. He's
I'm
very
just saying.
talented.
I mean, yeah, I get it.
But
I
yeah,
Yeah,
get
it's
it.
right.
Alvin. Let's leave it
Get
at
it.
that, all right?
Yeah,
We just,
Just
yeah,
got
just
enough.
drop it. Can I say,
Yeah,
as we're talking about something funny, one of the
Please.
scenes that made me laugh, and I very early in the movie when he's talking about the first time he saw a guy get shot and how pissed off.
Oh, I know where you're going, but
I
please
can't
go
remember
ahead.
what
Yeah,
his name is, but he's
yeah.
like, wasted 8 fucking aprons on that guy,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
just lost it.
Gonna
I'm like,
toughen you up, kid.
I've I've missed that. I miss that every time
I
I
can't
see it,
have we
but I
can't have
watch
that.
it.
I can't have that in here, Henry.
Eight
You say-
fucking aprons on this guy. It's like it's so
Yeah,
funny. It's so funny.
you know this kid? You deliver mail to his house?
yeah. Oh, I love that too because Paulie Walnuts, right? I'm just
Yeah.
gonna call him Paulie
Yeah,
Walnuts
you
because
call
we
him
know.
Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he's one of the. I love how like him and the other guy, right? They're sent to get the mailman, right? To
Yeah.
stop him delivering mail. And like Paulie Walnuts grabs him, he's like fucking scumbag. Like he's the mailman. He's delivering the mail.
I mean, I don't like people who say they're just doing their job. I'm just following orders.
Next
yeah,
I don't know.
next time a letter from that school gets delivered to that kid's house,
yeah,
put your head in the fucking oven.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
No
impossible to
letters
quote
from
this movie.
anybody.
Are you
You
gonna eat
can't
that
quote.
calzone in there?
Yeah, that part. But that's what I'm saying. But so okay, so to go back to what you said, I believe that scene specifically, hey, they're gonna the aprons. I think that's meant to be played as humorous. I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
humorous on purpose. I don't think that's me being a
yes.
sicko. I think that's genuinely supposed to be funny.
That is funny. It's funny, but also gives you a glimpse into that life where he doesn't give a shit. I don't want this guy bleeding on my
But
the front of
Henry at
here.
that so
I don't
that
want
guy
him in here, and you're wasting aprons on him. Get
but
the fuck out of here.
that's the perfect scene to emphasize that that guy, whoever he was in the bar, right, or the restaurant, right, the pizzeria, is already broken, right? He's already numb. It's already doesn't matter to him.
Yes.
Henry at
Mhm.
that point is still like, oh my, like I gotta help this guy. He's got blood. I can't leave. He still hasn't been broken yet, right, by that mob system, if you will. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
still
he's not
Yes.
desensitized yet.
correct, and I think that's a good counterpoint,
Eight
if you
fucking
will.
aprons. I think I might use that next time someone spills something, when my kids spill something. Yeah, eight fucking
But
aprons on this juice.
even from a cinematic perspective, there's so many fantastic shots in this movie. I mean, the one that immediately comes to mind, I think it's famous for anybody who appreciates filmmaking, right? Forget the story, but filmmaking in general. But that whole long track shot, that one take track shot where Henry and Karen go into the Copa and they walk up to the front, they come in
Oh,
from
Mhm.
outside. I mean,
yes.
it's infamous, right? I mean, that's one of the most iconic, genuine, sincerely one of the most iconic shots. I mean, can any of you, oh, Joe, here, I mean, I know I put you on the spot, but can you think of a more iconic
Quick.
one shot than that one?
I like a more iconic oneer than
Yeah,
that
yeah,
shot
like a
right
one
there.
take. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I think honestly, I think like that's the one, or it's definitely like in the top two or three or whatever that get mentioned anytime like Warners get talked about, right? It's
I
like
don't know.
Martin Scorsese, Copacabana scene.
Zack Snyder and Man of Steel had a couple of great.
You're right, Jordan. That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
Joe was
actually the
waiting
one
for that.
right
Joe
there.
was like, So one of the, I had to, Joe had to sign a contract to be on our podcast, and one of the things he said was, unless Jordan brings up Zack Snyder, I'm not doing it. I
I
said
think
he'll
I'm
do
gonna
it.
Yeah.
start. I think I'm gonna start doing like just make it a thing. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can shoehorn
Just
him into every movie. I wish
work
this
it in.
movie had more slow-mo violence. I think that would have made
Yeah.
it better.
Oh my God,
It needs to be more overly saturated. I think it would be a
Too
lot
many
is
better
it
to
colors.
take all Zack
is it
Too
Snyder's
many.
films are.
is
It's
it
too
true,
colorful.
Jordan, that Scorsese was a protege of understudy of Scorsese? No, I listen. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that any of us have seen every movie ever made, and that's not realistic, right? But I sincerely can't. I've seen many, many movies, and I can't think of a more iconic one take scene that lasts that long.
Well, I will say this. Another one that gets brought up quite a bit is the oneer that's done in Boogie Nights, which
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
Paul Thomas Anderson has admitted this
Okay,
is me trying to do the Copacabana
is
scene
that the
for
scene where he
Scorsese.
goes out to his car to get his gun, and then he walks back in? Right? Is
No,
that
no,
the?
no. It's like the opening when
Oh,
the movie
oh,
first
oh,
opens
oh,
up
oh!
and it
I thought
starts
you meant
going.
when.
It goes into the club and it's just going around. You're basically being introduced to every character in the movie, and it's
I
just
thought you meant
one shot.
when was it William H. Macy? Right, he has to go out to his car. He goes, he walks in the
Oh yeah,
bedroom. He
yeah,
goes,
that's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
one
Sorry.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, different, very, very different scene. Um, yeah, I mean, I just think about. I mean, I love the shot because it looks amazing. But I'm just saying, my brain looks at like, oh, how they had to coordinate. Everything had to work perfectly. Everybody had to have their marks right. I mean, it looks. I don't know. It is perfect. It doesn't say. I don't say it looks perfect because it is perfect. Yeah, there's no better iconic
Yeah, I mean
shot.
that's the scene. I'm sure in all film schools they
Look at
dissect the
the,
shit out of that.
it's flawless. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
I just love to when they sit down to like after all that and they put the table out for them and they sit down and she just looks at him and she's like, "What do you
What
do?"
do you
And he's
do?
like, "I'm in construction," and she touches his
You
hand.
don't feel like
He's
you're
like,
in
"You don't feel
construction.
like you're in construction," and he's like, "I'm a union." That's a great line.
I don't.
Again,
Yeah,
funny. That's funny.
that's what I'm saying. Right, right. No, that line. I think again, it's supposed to be funny. I think you have to kind of get that joke. But yeah, I think that's a
Your
classic
hands don't
scene.
feel like they're in construction.
So okay, now I want to talk about a little bit here, if we can, since we have another musician on the podcast today. The soundtrack of this movie, which I think is a hidden MVP of this movie. I think it's perfect in so many ways, but I also think, well, one is I know a lot of people. Some I don't get annoyed by this, but I know some people do. Like, oh, that this movie takes place. That scene is in 1967. That song didn't come out until March 1968. I hate those people. Those people. If you're out there, go
Mhm.
fuck yourself. Don't listen to this podcast. Uh,
Whoa.
because it's
I
like
like you. No, I don't.
no, like I mean, listen, what's oh my God, Marie Antoinette with Kirsten Dunst. I mean, they're playing Joy Division songs. It doesn't matter if it works
That
in the
was different.
it just whatever. If it works, it works. I'm not one of those people. And I'm a
David
music
Bowie was
nerd,
not around during the Moulin Rouge. What are you
but
talking
it's
about?
it's time period appropriate. But they also use the perfect songs to tell the story. Right? For example, right, "Rags to Riches," right in the beginning, right, basically telling the story of how Henry came from basically nothing to having everything he could ever want. Right, "Life is but a Dream" is a very appropriate song. They play that right when Karen is kind of getting wooed by Henry. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whoa,
On her
whoa.
first dates. Well, wooed as much as somebody like Henry can woo somebody, but I don't know. I'll draw it to Joe because you're a fellow music guy like myself. What do you think about the soundtrack? Nerd out. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's. I mean, I think Scorsese has the reputation of just like the needle drops as they're called. Like
Yes. Yep.
he's he's second to none. I mean, his soundtracks are notorious.
He,
I mean, if you just look at that, the Billy Bats scene, the
yeah.
notorious Billy Bats scene,
Yes.
and and Donovan Atlantis is playing. Which, by the way, if you've never listened to that song, it's an incredibly strange song, and until it gets to that chorus, very weird, and yet it works so perfectly as they're you know beating him to death, or what they think is to death, as they're kicking him repeatedly in the face, just way down. It's just perfect.
No, 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 no. You insulted him a little bit.
Yeah,
Little bit,
yeah.
little
No,
bit.
no.
That's okay. No, I didn't insult nobody. Did you hear the story, Joe, about or Jordan, either one of you? But there was a story about how I mean, it's not much of a story, but I guess more of a fact. But how basically Scorsese wanted, oh my God, the Cream song "Sunshine of Your Love" in the movie, right? They were going to work that song into the movie, basically. That's such a good
Doom,
song.
doom, doom,
Dun,
doom,
Yeah.
dun.
doom, doom,
That's, I
doom,
mean,
doom.
that scene with him shooting looks at everybody that he wants to kill over the next,
Oh yeah,
It's,
yeah. Well, yeah. That's
um,
when it's playing, right?
yeah,
With Jimmy.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is a, I don't, I should buy this actually. I don't own this. Speaking of physical media, which I can see that Joe clearly has some physical media in
Yes,
the
yes.
back.
Some of my collection,
Yeah.
believe me, that's a small fraction of it.
To the
That's
people,
my flea market runs from the last couple of weekends.
for
It's a
the,
problem. It's a problem.
for the people who can't see,
which is
which is
everyone
everybody, which is
except for us.
everybody. Yeah, except for us. Joe has a literal pile of looks like Blu-rays,
Oh, it's a mix.
or Wii games, DVDs, and Blu-rays. I don't know. It looks like I'm gonna say movies.
No, it's strictly Blu-rays and DVDs,
Strictly Blu-rays and DVDs.
and some 4Ks. I got some 4Ks in there.
Okay,
Cheap.
okay.
I
You
see.
know they're
Was
getting
that
cheaper now.
every Ice Age movie? All right, that looks good.
Yeah.
He's got Ice Age. The first one actually wasn't bad. The rest of them are garbage. But what do you think about the soundtrack, Jordan? Are you a fan of the
I
soundtrack?
mean, come on. I listen. My parents always, my mother always complains I never mention her, so I'll mention them both. I grew up on classic rock because of my
Okay,
parents, so the
okay.
soundtrack was like, once they started getting into, I wasn't listening to that doo-wop shit, whatever. But anyway, the
What's
soundtrack, I grew up on
yeah?
listening to this type of music, so the Sunshine of Your Love, that shit like that, like I was, they're fantastic in those scenes. It's just perfect. The music and the visuals and the story just work so damn well together. Especially,
Yes.
I forgot the name of the song. It's the end. I only know it
Is
at
it
the end
Layla?
to Layla,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
With the
Derek and the
piano part.
Dominoes with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with
It's
that.
Layla.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's just fucking perfect. It's perfect, iconic. Just like to me, just as iconic as the walking through the Copa kitchen scene. That
Oh,
music
yes.
playing in the background.
Well, it's fun. It works, and I can tell you this because I'm a huge Cream fan, but I'm not Eric Clapton solo fan. And
Derek
I
and the Dominoes.
well, yeah, whatever. It's Eric Clapton, whatever. But Derek and the Dominoes, fine.
Hands out,
I'll make it
Derek.
easier. I'm not a fan of anything he did after outside of Cream, so I'll just make that much easier on myself. But yeah, I love that song in that scene, but that's not a song that I would listen to. That specific song.
Oh, Layla's so
Um,
good.
I'm not a Layla fan. The beginning is awesome. The ending is again in the movie it's perfect, but it's not a song that I would put on. But okay, well I'll fix it. I'm going to apologize to Mama Jordan for always for always impersonating her voice. I'm sure you have a lovely voice. I just it's just for laughs on this podcast. But
Don't
anyway,
worry, Mom. I set him straight.
my son, I don't listen to that goddamn disco.
She doesn't
Um,
listen. She would say that she wouldn't say goddamn either. She'd
I don't
call
listen
it
to
fucking disco.
that fucking disco. It's gotta go, Jordan. I don't like it. Okay. Another theme I
I'm in
want to
so
talk
much
about.
trouble. Okay.
We're all in trouble. Yeah, it's fine. Well, you more than me. But anyway, I did want to talk about a theme that I thought, and again, this maybe is my imagination, family, this idea of family versus kind of self-preservation, right? Where it's like there's so much, especially more in the beginning, right, in this movie about everyone's being close. They're like family. They went on vacation together. They ate together. They had kids together. But in the end, they all obviously clearly are only worried about themselves, right? So here's my question, and whoever wants to answer it first, you can both answer. But do you think there was genuine affection between these people at any point? But in the end, maybe self-preservation just wins over, or do you always think it was a fake front all along and that nobody ever really cared about anybody? And this is not a trick question; it's just your opinion.
Oh, I mean, I mean, between anyone, like any two characters or
Anybody,
any characters,
just the whole
I,
people, everybody in this
I,
world.
I honestly think that there was genuine love between Henry and Karen. Obviously,
Okay.
it was crazy, you know. I mean,
Yes.
the life that they were living was
Yes.
crazy, but I do genuinely think that there was love between them. And really, I don't think, I mean, if you look at Jimmy and Tommy, like
Oh yeah,
they are
they were
clearly
brothers.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, they are. I mean, there is a bond between them. You know, Tommy and Jimmy, they have a bond that could be the strongest bond in the entire film. I mean, it's yeah, for sure.
So
And I
okay, so
think there was genuine affection, but I think to your point, self-preservation wins out. They kind of put, at least in this, from Henry's point of view,
yeah.
they kind of put Henry in an impossible position. What was he going to do? It's either he
Oh, and he was in
whacks or
prison.
he dies.
Oh,
No, I
oh,
mean like the fact that you talk about like how quickly they go to self-preservation.
yeah,
Jimmy gets paranoid. He's whacking everybody. If Karen
yeah.
went into that room, she was dead. He was killing everyone.
A
So,
hundred percent, 100%.
so like at that point, I thought there was, it was genuine, it was real. But as soon as things go sideways, it's like it's every man for himself, apparently.
I agree with
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I think that brings it back to what you were saying about what your son was saying when he watched this, and how he realized like how it all just goes downhill in the end. I think that's really the important thing to recognize. This film is like no matter how close that these people feel to each other, once self-preservation kicks in,
yeah.
they will
That's
do
it.
anything.
That's it. It's like
It
a
all goes out the window.
animal backed up against the wall,
Hmm.
if you will. And I think yeah. I was gonna say, um, yeah. I think that's a good point. Yeah, I think there's genuine affection there. But yeah, if push comes to shove, I think that's the expression, right? If push comes to shove,
Yes.
and it's you or me. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. If it's you or me, right, you're going down. But I do think it's interesting. This was not my notes. I'm just thinking about it now that I feel like everybody who does get whacked in this movie, right? And I'm gonna say whacked, right? Everybody who gets killed in this movie. I feel like they all put themselves in that position, right? Even right. So Henry ends up in that position where he has no choice. But how many times they tell him to stop selling drugs or stop doing this, right?
Yeah.
Or hey Tommy, stop being a psycho and attacking people, right? Or don't go out and spend the money after the heist, right? Don't go buy anything, right? Everybody.
That pissed me off so much.
But I'm saying no,
He did.
Samuel Jackson, right? You gotta be there with the truck, right? Everybody had opportunities. Like if they just did, I'm simplifying, obviously, right? But if everybody really did what they were supposed to do, what they were told to do, they would all still be alive, right? Maury, stop bugging Jimmy about the money, right?
Oh,
Everybody,
Maury. How
but
did it take this long to get to Maury? Oh my God, Maury.
what am
Talk
I? What
about
am I,
comedy.
schmuck?
I
Why
was
am
so
I
happy.
have to pay 15% above the vig? What am I? What am I, schmuck?
I was so
I,
happy
I,
when
I,
Maury
I,
finally got it.
yeah,
I was
I
waiting
just,
it. I'm like, I knew it was happening. I'm like, come on already. Can we kill this guy?
You didn't feel bad for Maury? Joe was gonna
No.
say, what were you gonna say, Joe? I'm sorry. Let Joe.
no, no, I just like the guy is such a scene stealer. I mean, just the way he delivers the line where he's
Oh,
just like,
Danny
Jimmy is
boy.
being, yes, yes. But I just love the line, his line delivery when he says, Jimmy is being an unconscionable ball buster. It's just so
While he's
great
on
the
the
way he
phone, while
delivers
he's on
that
the phone.
line. Oh,
You know what line I love that he always says? Everybody else has got their money. They're all flaunting it.
yes, yes.
Why am I
And
the
it's
one
like,
with them?
and he has a point. Like, obviously,
100%.
like, he has a point, but it's like, Maury, shut up, dude. Just you're dealing with psychopaths.
I I would make the and this is just a guess. I would make the argument that it was lose lose for Maury. That he was, if he didn't ask, he was never going to get his money, and if he did ask, he was just going to get killed. Right?
Mm,
There was
I
no winning
mean, there's
for
a
Maury.
winning there. You just don't get your money and you're still alive.
Well, that's
Oh,
true. That's true.
and,
But
oh, by the way,
but he's not a schmuck.
Yeah, apparently,
and,
well,
and,
apparently he was a little bit of a schmuck.
and,
A
and
little
going
bit.
back to the narration a little bit, I feel like that's like the one point in the film where Henry is not actually in on what happened, right? Because he says he has no idea how close he came to
Right,
getting
right, right,
whacked
right,
that night.
right,
He
right.
never knows, and the way Maury gets killed
Forget
with
about
just
tonight.
that ice pick to the, I mean, oh, just a brutal scene.
That is pretty rough. I kind of felt bad for Maury. I'm not with Jordan on this
No.
one. I kind of felt bad for Maury because he did get screwed over, right? He helped him out.
Uh,
His wigs don't fall off. Come on in to Maury's wig shop.
I mean, I might be, if only he
He
were
jumped
still
in the pool
alive,
and
maybe I
stayed
would have
on.
asked him for a discount.
I have a
Um,
buddy who all the time I see him. Anytime we say, "Hey, you want to go here? We'll go today. You want to go that? We'll do today. Whatever. Today. I want the money today. Today." That's and I think I want to go back to what Joe is saying about. I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but it's related to that, right? But talking about Jimmy and Tommy kind of being probably the closest real relationship other than Karen and Henry in this movie, right? But I see them as two sides of the same coin, right? They're both cold-blooded killers. They'll
Yes.
do whatever they feel they need to do. The difference, I think, is Jimmy is very calm and calculating in what he does. He thinks through everything before he does it, and when he does it, Tommy is all reaction, and being impulsive. I don't know if you
He's
guys
a
agree.
hothead, extreme hothead.
Yeah. I mean, it's you never know what he's gonna do. And Jimmy, to your point, he's yeah, he's calculated. He's cold, but he's calculated. He's not
The
gonna
ends
make
are
a
always the
misstep.
ends are the same for both of them, but the way they get to those ends is very different.
But
I mean,
but I feel like
Jimmy
that's
gets
why
to
they're.
die in prison. Tommy gets doesn't even get an open casket.
It's
Oh
this
yeah,
real,
yeah.
real little greaseball Italian
Real
stuff.
greaseball shit. But I feel
Where
like that's why Jimmy and Tommy, their bond is so strong because I feel like Jimmy is the only one that you never feel Tommy would actually do anything to throughout the
no,
entire film.
unless maybe he lived long enough to Jimmy had to rat him out or something. But can we talk about? I didn't have this on my list, but real quick before we start heading towards the wrap up here, but can we talk about Spider, who gets no respect?
Uh,
No, we can't.
Michael
If
Imperial,
I ever
young
just end
Michael
it like that,
Imperial.
if he just asked if we could talk about that, and both of us were just like, nah, next topic.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, what am I
Okay.
on the pay no mind list?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you running for everybody fucking else, but for me, you're gonna.
No, I thought you said I'm all right,
Yeah,
Spider.
you thought you did that, you know
You
you're a fucking
stuttering prick.
stuttering, muttering prick. You know that?
No, you're not all right, Spider. No, I thought you said I'm all Spider. I'm
And,
all right.
and talking about like unintentional comedy, shoots him 5 times in the chest, and he's like, he's dead. Oh yeah, you think?
It's hard to miss from that distance. You got a problem with what I did, Anthony? That
That
is.
scene too, because Jimmy is going like, "You're gonna let him talk to you like that? What's the
Oh,
what? Like, I, how did Jimmy not realize that Tommy,
the
you know,
fucking balls on this
he's
kid.
he's just like an ass hair away
So
from
here's it.
doing something insane at any
And then he gets
moment?
pissed, and then he
Why
gets
would you
pissed at
push
him.
him like that?
And then he gets pissed at him. It takes
What are you
nothing.
fucking? What are you fucking crazy? What is wrong with you? I'm not digging the hole. I'll dig the hole. Yeah, I never dug a hole before.
I shot him. What can I say? I'm a good shot.
So here, let me ask this question. I'll preface it. I'll say what I'm gonna say first, and then I'll ask the question. I watched this scene. I laughed hysterically. I don't. Is this scene supposed to be funny? Did you guys laugh this for the first time? Like when you watch this? Two things. Did you laugh the first time you saw it, and or do you laugh now when you see it? I laugh. I don't think I'm supposed to. Maybe I am. I don't know. Thoughts? Go ahead.
I'll let the guest go first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think a lot of it is just the delivery, and I think a lot of it too is just I think with a lot of stuff with his films, and especially this one, you're just seeing a scene that is so well done, and we've seen it so many times. We know it beat for beat, and it's almost like you're laughing at just how amazing it is, like how well done it is. I think that's a big part of it.
What do
I
you think,
think
Jordan?
for me, the scene itself, what actually happens, isn't funny, but
No.
the fact that Joe Pesci is so funny, it's like he shoots him and you're like, what the fuck? And then his reaction to it is like, what?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like, I guess I'm a good shot. What? I never dug a hole before. That the part that makes me laugh.
I think it's also. I think it's also the part in the movie where the line in the sand is drawn. I think that for Henry and as the viewer, right? I think that's the actual hard line in the movie of when the glamorous error, right? The act right there, act one, act two, act three, right? That arc of like this is still glamorous, this is cool. I think that's it. To me, when I watch that movie, that's where the line is, right? Like everything before that, you're still kind of like this is cool. They make money. They made it. That's when everything starts going downhill. I don't know if you guys agree. For me, it is.
It's not that far off from that scene, so that we jump to what him driving around. That actually no, that's him finally getting in jail, and then
Yeah.
the Pittsburgh
Oh,
connection, and then ending. So yeah, I guess it is sort of towards the end.
can I just say real quick
Talking
how
about Karen smuggling in salami.
Mr. Rossi, Mr. Superintendent, there's a whore in your building. Uh, Miss Janet Rossi, apartment 3F. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's
my
okay.
fault. That's my fault. Can I also say that as having uh, uh Jewish relatives and living in New York, my grandmother, if she was gonna call somewhere a whore, she would have said hua.
Hua, yeah, yeah.
So that's the
Cool.
one thing where I'm like, Karen should have said hua, and then
Hua.
she would have been more Jewish to me. But
Yeah. She's
Just
more
the
like,
good half.
whore. You
because
got a
that's
whore.
how my grandmother said it. She said hua.
Do you know what
So
kind of people these are? Your father never went out in all hours of the night. Your father hasn't been able to digest a decent meal in 6 weeks. All right, all
Oh,
right.
she's great too. Everyone's great. It's such-
There's nobody
oh,
bad in this movie. We could talk about. There's like 20 scenes I haven't talked about, which I'm not going to. All right, I'm gonna start heading towards the wrap up because this will be as long as the movie if we don't. I'm gonna throw this out there, and I think I
let's
know
do
the
it, guys.
answer,
Come on.
but
For a 3 hour podcast. Let's just go. Let's just get every scene, dissect it. Come
oh
on.
my God, maybe that'll be like an expanded episode at one point in the future. Where do you think? I'll let Joe. I'll give the first question to Jordan, then the next question. I'm sorry, first question to Joe. Next question will go to Jordan. Joe, where do you think this movie ranks as far as whatever top 10 or all time classic mob movies or movies in general? Where would you put this on the list of, like I said, movies in general or mob movies? Where does it land for you?
Well, it's definitely in my top 10 of all time, and I would have to say, for me, it's the best mob movie of all. Oh wait, God, The Godfather.
There's
I'm gonna
no
go out
wrong
on a
answer.
limb and say
There's
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say The Godfather. Pretty good
okay.
movie. Um, oh
I hear
man,
things. I hear
oh,
things.
is it better than The Godfather? I've definitely seen it more times than The Godfather. I would probably have to say number two for me, and Godfather would probably be number one.
What about you, Jordan?
see, for me, it's a hard to choose between this and Analyze That as my two favorite mob movies.
Not even analyze this. The sequel. So one of the few times the sequel was better.
I got it. Takes a lot for you to get one over on me, but I did not see that coming at all.
So while I think The Godfather is seen as the godfather of mafia movies, for
Oh,
me, Goodfellas is number one because it is uh, infinitely more rewatchable and
I would,
enjoyable
yeah,
than The Godfather.
it's
To
always
damn it,
me,
Jordan,
subjective,
you're
but yeah,
right. You're right. Now I want to
right?
take mine back.
he takes it
So
back.
I'm gonna put
so it's
Goodfellas in there. You know what? You make a good argument. It's good to
so
convince
it's
me.
Goodfellas, Analyze That, then
Yeah,
The
done the Godfather.
Godfather 3.
Oh my God. I almost wish you just committed to just like, no, no, seriously, analyze this. Is just
Analyze
like just played
Analyze
it
That.
straight.
It had everything of the this,
Oh
but it
God.
was
Billy
second.
Crystal, his finest work after Curly's Gold. Okay. All right. I'm gonna throw another question. We'll start with Jordan this one, then we can switch to Joe after that. Okay. How do you think this movie would hold up? Don't use my son as a reference. How do you think this movie would hold up for somebody younger seeing this for the first time today, whatever? And younger could be 25, 30. Somebody who didn't see this growing up the same age we saw, right? Somebody who's like, oh, what is Goodfellas? This old movie. It's
We are
35 years old.
so far. So having recently dealt with the realization as I'm making my eldest daughter, listen to music I enjoyed from the 90s and having her refer to it as old people music. I don't think this movie generally, unless you're someone who enjoys movies, like a
Hmm.
movie person, I don't know what I mean. I think it holds up still personally,
Hmm.
but I can't see a 16-year-old generally, most 16-year-olds being like, oh yeah, I love this movie. They're gonna want to watch Scarface because it's cool kind
Yeah.
of thing, and it has like that connotation. I don't know whether or not this holds up anymore, at least for the younger generation, as
Okay.
something that they're
Okay.
gonna want to watch.
Well, before I give it to Joe, I'll just say again, to be fair to exactly your point, my son is a movie fan, so that kind of tracks. He did love it, but
Yes.
Joe, what do you think about the younger folk, the
I mean,
Z?
the only thing I can go by is I think I think we've all had the experience of and maybe that's a problem with this movie is that you know we watch it too much, but I feel like we've all had the experience of revisiting something and going like, oh, this doesn't hold up, or oh, this feels dated, or someone in the younger generation might not appreciate this. But I don't know. I mean, this film seems timeless to me. Like I don't know. what in here would not, would turn off a younger person. I just think it
I
just works.
think it works because even when I watched it right in the 90s, late 90s, whatever, it works because they might say, oh, they don't have cell phone. It doesn't matter. They don't have cell phones. They don't have computers. Like that's irrelevant in this movie, right? Some people might be turned off by, oh, there's no technology. The movie was always when it came out, it was already older, right? It already was in a different era. I think even though it isn't, it's a very specific era in a very specific time. I think for this movie, that aspect makes it timeless, if that makes sense, right? That it was in it's a bygone era, right? No matter when it came out, right? In 1990 or 2026, it's a bygone era.
It's even more bygone at this point. I mean, I tell you, when I tell my kids I was born in the 80s, they're like, "Oh my God, you're old." This movie is, I mean, it might as well be black and white, I think, to some kids. Not all, but to
Yeah, I
some
think it
kids, I
depends
think
on
it might
the.
as well be black and white.
I
The
think it depends
music
on
is
the kid.
old. The movie is about old people doing old people stuff. The mob, the mafia doesn't have the same allure as
Well,
it used to anymore. I don't
well,
know.
I'll say I want to head towards the ending here, but I want to share a quick thing that it ties back to last episode where I was talking about The Americans as one of my favorite TV shows. So the lead actor Matthew Reese, was doing an interview recently, and he was talking about how he was on the show and they had like production assistants, but they were in their 20s, like younger kids, right? Hey, doing makeup and costume and like that, and they're like, "Oh, what are you working at?" It was like we're doing the people who work on that show said we're doing a period piece. About he called it a period piece, right? He's like, and then he thought it's like a period piece is in the 80s, and he's like, oh, I realized, yes, you're 25. Um, a show that takes place in 1983 is a period piece, right? For them, it's like watching
Yeah.
Bridgerton or Downton Abbey or something like that. But anyway, random aside, yes, the point was that people who are in their 20s look at this as like a bygone era. Anyway, all right, we're gonna,
Can I just say
yeah,
one thing?
please,
I just because this jumped out at me. I just want to say because like Scorsese is so amazing, and I think he worked with like the same editor for a long time,
he
maybe
did,
still to this
he did. It
day.
was a woman, I believe.
Yes, yes, and I think the pacing of this movie and how like frenetic it is and how quick it moves is
Especially towards
part
the
of what
end.
makes it so timeless. It just it right out of the gate, and it just keeps going and it never lets up, and I think that's why it holds up so
Her
well.
name was Thelma Schoonmaker. Was her name? I just looked it up. Was the editor of this
Okay.
movie. And I think, yeah, that it tracks too with his descent. The movie starts moving faster as he gets crazier and crazier with his cocaine, and don't forget, not forgetting to stir the sauce and helicopters in the
You don't
sky.
want
We
it to
have to mention
stick.
the sauce.
You don't want it to stick.
All
All
right,
right.
I want to try to make this. I'm gonna try to keep us on the track. So I may cut one of you off, but favorite scene, and let's try to stay in the rails here. All right, Jordan, you want to go first, and then we'll let Joe have the honors to go after
I
you.
will go first. My favorite scene was when the trio go to Tommy's house to get a shovel,
Yep. So your favorite scene is
and
my favorite
the
scene.
only good person in this entire movie,
Yes.
the mother,
Here.
Tommy's mother, decides to make them a full Italian Sunday dinner
I can't sleep
spread.
once he's here. I never see him. I can't go back to bed once he's here.
And it reminded me of how much there is overlap between Italian mothers
Yeah.
and Jewish mothers.
I
Because
can
when I would have friends over, my mother would always be like, "You want me to make you something? Are you hungry?" And they're like, "No, we're not hungry. We're gonna go out." It's like, let me make you grilled cheese. Just let me make you something."
I
So that the fact
had
that she
yeah.
made them that whole big thing was just like, I love that scene. Love it.
We can't wait. Game on. Can I borrow this knife? We hit a deer on the way up here. You can't,
Yeah, I gotta, it's a sin. I
you
gotta,
can't leave
get
it
it out of the
the,
grill.
what do you call it? The paw?
Yeah.
The hoof. The
What the-
hoof.
You
I love
know,
Henry,
the
Henry, you're not eating now. What's the matter
no, no,
with
wait.
you?
The best part is she's not even an actress, but she has one of the best lines in the movie. It's not even a line, it's a reaction when she goes, it's in the grill. You can't leave there, Mom. It's a sin. She goes, ooh. She's like, she doesn't even say anything. He's like, it's in the grill. She's like, ooh, ooh.
Love that. Love that. Love that scene. All
Did you
right.
show the what's the matter, Henry? You don't, when are you gonna settle down? I settle down
I
every
settle
night.
down with a nice woman almost every night, ma.
I'm in love with you. I want, uh,
I want to be with you, Mom. What's the
one
matter?
dog's, look at one dog's looking east. The other one's looking west. This guy's saying, what do you want from
Yeah,
me? I want, yeah.
the first time I noticed this when like on this rewatch when I watched it, and she pulls that pic. all of a sudden she just pulls the painting out from under.
Yeah,
It's like she had it under the table or something.
Perfect. It's
I'm gonna be honest
perfect.
with you.
It's perfect.
It's
Perfect.
that scene was my favorite, so I don't even need to add anything to that. But that edit is it's always like a really hard cut. I'm always that's like the analytical part of me is like just ignore the fact that she randomly has a painting there and it wasn't there before, but it's
Yeah.
fine. I just let it go.
It makes so much sense to me that she wants to show everyone the painting. It
So
just
this guy's saying, "What do you want from
look at
me?"
this painting. Look at this painting. Look what he got me. This
He looks like
painting. It's good.
somebody we know. Without the beard,
Yeah.
it's him.
Ah. All
Um,
right. That was
all
good.
right,
Yeah, it's
Joe.
Scorsese's mom, and she's amazing. She's like a natural. She's she's so good.
You can close us out here with the favorite scene before I wrap it up. Wrap it up. So, what's your favorite scene? You have to pick one. I know the whole movie is our favorite scene, but what's if you had to pick like a desert island scene that you can only watch a 5 minute clip? What would it be?
Well, of course, for me, it's gonna have to be the Billy Bat scene. There's so much
Yes.
that happens in that scene. Tommy comes in, you can't really, like Billy Bats is kind of busting his chops a little bit. You can't tell if he's like, fucking with him really, or if
Yeah.
he's like, really being nice with him. And then you find, when he says, now go home and get your fucking shine box. And that gets to Tommy so bad that he leaves and is gone for what has to be hours
Yeah.
because now
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
place is closed.
Yeah.
And he comes back just as fuming, pissed off as he was when he left. He comes in and he's breathing heavy.
Fucking
And
mutt.
then him and Jimmy just knock him down. They're kicking him in the face. They think that they have just brutally murdered this guy.
But
And yet
he's worried about his floor.
what gets to Tommy, you could see the heartbreak in his
I'm sorry
face
about your floor.
when he says to Henry, I didn't want to get blood on your floor. And he looks like he's going to cry. That's what gets him.
Well, that shows you that he's completely
got blood on
unhinged,
his
right? Like
floor.
that's not an act with him. He's completely unhinged. He's just not a together person. He's completely
No.
insane.
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
Like-
that is I mean, that's probably, I mean, the whole movie is quotable, but that scene is probably, I'd argue it's probably the most quoted scene of the movie for people who quote this movie. That and the, like, do you think why am I funny? That scene, right? Those two scenes
Oh, yeah, that one, of course.
are probably that would be number one, right? Why am I a clown? That's probably number one. And then I would say the Billy Bats scene has got to be number two, right?
Can I ask you about that scene, the "Why am I funny" scene? And if we have to cut it, but I just want to know, what do you guys think? Was Tommy genuinely, like, was he really going after Henry in that scene? Like, was he, you know what I mean? Like, was he,
I don't
like,
think Tommy would ever have gone after Henry.
Yeah, I agree with Jordan.
I think that even if Tommy were to have lived, he would have probably tried to. I can't see. I mean, you see him and Tommy and Henry were like
They grew up together.
They were they were
Yeah,
kids.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was ever really in danger there.
Yeah,
I think he
I
was
agree.
playing off the fact that Henry knew that Tommy was a bit of a wild card,
Mhm.
wild card. But
Wild card.
I still don't think he would have. He was, yeah.
That is a
Yeah,
line that
I think he was genuinely playing with him. Yeah.
I use that line all the time of like if I'm in a situation where somebody doesn't like, oh, I thought, hey, I'm going out on Friday with my friends, and they're like, oh, you didn't tell me that, and somebody forgets something, and they don't like, hey, Joe, did you remember to do X, Y, Z? Like, oh, you didn't tell me that, and I'll whip out like, you've been away a long time, maybe they didn't come up there and tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I
and
don't
nobody,
shine shoes no more.
yeah, what? 1 minute we're hugging, or if somebody gets a little fresh, I'll say like, 1 minute we're hugging, we're kissing, next minute you're acting like a fucking jerk.
Yeah.
All right. In the essence of, if nobody's listening at this point, I think Mrs. Jordan is listening.
Mrs. Jordan, that's
Jordan.
Sure.
Mama Jordan. Mrs. Jordan's
Mama
not
Jordan.
listening. She's like, go down in the basement, Jordan. Have fun with your friends. Mama Jordan Mama Jordan and Mama Matt are the only two people listening at this point. Mrs. Jordan is like already fast asleep. She's like, oh, my husband, he has hobbies. It's great.
he has friends finally.
He has friends. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I want to give a huge shout out to Joe. Thank you for being here. We'd love to have you back in the
thank you,
future.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Yes, I do want to give a couple
thank
quick
you, guys.
shout outs to Dave, Danny, Dorian out there, who is a big commenter, always commenting. Dorian, we love your comments. Keep adding them.
As long as you think I'm right.
Yeah,
Keep 'em up.
Joe, Danny, Dave, everybody out there, lots of shout outs. And again, we wanted to tell you that we do have the website now. It's moviesmusicandmiddleage.com, all one word, right? And from there, you can find our Spotify, our Apple, our YouTube. Yeah, everything that we're on. You can subscribe. All our episodes are on the website, every single one. You can send us an email if you want to. Yeah, we're everywhere. So please, if you think anybody's out there who'd be interested, tell them about the website, tell them about the podcast. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Anything else you want to add? Jordan, you want to send us off?
Bye.
All right, no, you're done. I'm gonna let Joe do it now. Joe, anything you want to say to the people out there as our special guest this week? Jordan has lost his privileges. You want to send us off this week,
Bye,
Jordan?
everybody.
Joe.
Bye.
I'm just gonna say, if you haven't seen Goodfellas,
Oh yes,
check it out.
yes,
Pretty good movie.
yes.
Pretty good one.
It's available on
That's
this
pretty
really
good.
small indie streaming platform called Amazon Prime.
It's on
That's it.
A24 plus.
Never heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So please follow, like, and subscribe. Add the comments. Thanks again to Joe. Thanks again to Jordan. And we go back and get your shine box, and we'll see you all next week.